Welcome to a brand new podcast, and this is the Oracle 19, and my name is Greatness. For any business inquiries, if you want to put your brand on this podcast, you can email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com, and definitely we can talk business. And that's the same email if you want to make a free will offering. We definitely could use your support. Again, it does take a lot of time and money to edit, and we could use your support that way. Definitely we could really use your support, even if it's $1 or $5 or $2, whatever you can afford. evolutionoflondon@gmail.com through our PayPal account, or you could use it as a e-transfer as well. We have different links to other affiliates. That's www.linktree.com/evolutionoflondon. And we do have a Patreon channel that we have videos that is now on YouTube. That's www.patreon.com/evolutionoflondon. And also we will be on Rumble soon. We will put more videos on Rumble, so we will keep you posted on that. Mr. Will, he's been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. If you want to book a consultation, email him at williesfitness99@gmail.com. That's Willies, WILLYZ, fitness99@gmail.com. Or .com, excuse me. I had a brain lapse because I'm thinking about his website, www.wjaaccessories.org. There you'll find custom clothes, accessories, digital products for personal as business use as well. His ebooks is very good, so definitely check that out. That's www.wjaaccessories.org. So definitely support that. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. There you will find a whole wide range of beats. So I need y'all guys to go to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And once you go to his YouTube page, you will see his social media sites. So definitely support that. Like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. And continuing to train on YouTube, the Greatness 19 channel. Now, the Greatness 19 channel, we have over 450 videos to open up your third eye. So I need y'all guys also to like, subscribe, and share to the Greatness 19 channel on YouTube and show your support also. Make a donation there. Again, that's evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. Or support the merchandise, which is www.evolutionoflondon.com. That's our online shopping mall. We have a whole wide range of different products. So definitely support www.evolutionoflondon.com. And also check out www.evolutionoflondon.org. There you'll find custom clothes, accessories, digital products for personal as well as business use. And finally, check out www.evolutionoflondon.store, STORE. There you'll find accessories, soaps, lotions, clothing, DVDs, and much, much more. So check that out. And also, piggybacking back to YouTube, Mr. Evolution of London, that's our health and wellness channel. So we're going to be putting more videos this month on health and wellness, so definitely check that out also. Check out the company royalty9international.com. That's luxury candles. They make homemade candles, 12-ounce candles, 100% soy wax candles, from scented to unscented. Now, the scented candles from eucalyptus, peppermint, rose, sandalwood, frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, just to name a few. So I need y'all guys to support that. You can email them at royalty9international.com, royalty9international@gmail.com. And social media through TikTok and Instagram, Royalty9 International. Villa Medina. Villa Medina. I like saying that. Villa Medina. They're located in White Oaks Mall. That's in London, Ontario. Southern part of London. Address is 1105 Wellington Road, 1105 Wellington Road, that's London, Ontario. Mediterranean food for your everyday enjoyment. And they open every day, Monday through Sunday. And the time starting through Monday through Friday, that's 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sundays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So definitely you could check that out as well. And the email and telephone number, you can actually, for the email and telephone number, you can go to the website of ours and find the information as well. www.theoracle19radio.com. You'll find the email and telephone number as well. And you could just actually Google the location, Villa Medina, 1105 Wellington Road. Definitely very good food. They have chicken shawarmas and dinners and lunches. Definitely it is, I always have this word, but scrumptious and delicious. So definitely you want to support that and check them out because they open every day. So, and they do deliveries as well. So that's something you want to look into, DoorDash and Skip. So Villa Medina, and that's in White Oaks Mall, downtown, that's the southern part of London, Ontario, Villa Medina. AT Cell Phone Repair. They have two locations. That's the first location is 1401 Ernest Avenue, Unit 15. Again, that's London, Ontario. They've been in business for over 20 years. You can ask for Freedom. Yes, that's his name, Freedom. Telephone number is 519-204-7300. Business email, atcellphonerepair@gmail.com. They sell at the first location all different types of phones, computers, iPods, iPads, accessories. And again, atcellphonerepair@gmail.com. That's their first location. Second location is 93 Wellington Street, and that is north. They wholesale at that second location. Number one for parts, accessories in London, Ontario. They wholesale all different types of phones, computers, iPods, iPads, accessories. They also provide security cameras and install them. Toll-free telephone number is 877-358-0026. And local number is 226-503-3300. And their email at that location is atwholesaler@gmail.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Fin City Fish and Chips. The fish and chips are, as I always say, delicious as well. 711 Richmond Street, that's downtown London, Ontario. Telephone number is 519-672-9950. The email address is fincitylondon@gmail.com. And website is www.fincityfishandchips.ca. And they're on social media. You check them on Facebook and Instagram, and they deliver as well, DoorDash, Skip, etc., etc., etc. So support Fin City. Now the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on Anchor.fm. We're on Google, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio, just to name a few. So definitely show your love, like, subscribe, and share. And anything that I haven't mentioned will be on the Oracle 19 podcast, the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London, and www.theoracle19radio.com. Now, today we're going to get into a topic. Again, I give my perspective. Might be a little controversial. I don't know. You have to decide. Being a so-called tough guy. Talking to homie Khalito. This is for you. We was talking and collaborating, and then we came up with this idea. Thank you, Khalito. Shout out to you. Being a so-called tough guy. In this day and time, let's give a little background. You know, I grew up in a real tough guy. Don't have to have a bandana over their head, talking nonsense. Being a tough guy is a state of mind. Let's start with that. A lot of these so-called tough guys out here, again, a lot of your real tough guys is in suits and ties. Everyday working class men. And I grew up in a neighborhood where it was a lot of tough guys. Mentally strong-minded tough guys. They was in a family setting, I was surrounded by a family setting, men with women, just family. And it was a men-dominated community. So, and yes, I was in BK. BK all day. So, and a few men now have had the blessings of growing up with real men in their neighborhoods or in their circumference, whether it was their father, their uncles, and just men in the neighborhood. What I call a tough guy, my dad. Again, we always don't agree with our parents. That's without saying. But being a tough guy, doing the things that takes a lot of mental strength and supporting the family and not taking ish from people in the streets. Tough guy. And the persona of, let's say, the men in the movies that you watch, the black exploitation movies, the Superfly, and Shaft. Men, tough-minded men. And even in real life, those men was that type of men. And being a tough individual, tough man, doesn't mean you're going to be running around beating people up and cursing and swearing, just being a jerk. No, just mentally strong and standing on your square. I'm just giving you a storyline, and I'm gonna dive right into the modern day times. But that's my definition of a tough guy. Tough guys like Muhammad Ali, mentally strong. He had to endure a lot. We're not talking about people being perfect and they have done wrongs in life and stuff like that, because everybody have made mistakes and been through trials and tribulations, so forth. But being a tough guy, not letting nobody dumb you down, not letting anyone make you less than a man. Jim Brown, the great Jim Brown, football player for the Cleveland Browns in the 1960s. Tough guy. And even outside of football, he stood on the square of being a tough guy. Mentally strong. And I have friends in the neighborhood, their fathers I would consider tough guys. You know, it takes a whole lot to be that individual. And not every man is built for that. Very few actually are tough guys. They endure a lot mentally. Personal life as well as outside life. They have gone through the sands of life. They have gone through things that will make most people crumble. That's a tough guy. Going through things that the average man couldn't handle. Because again, not everybody say, yeah, I'm a tough guy, I'm a tough guy, I'm a tough guy. But when you go through things, trials and tribulations, then we will see how tough you really are. And not most men, especially in this day and time, are not built like that. Like the men of the yesteryears, the men of the 70s or 60s or 50s, 40s, and beyond. In my personal opinion, modern day men have gotten weaker. Very weak. And a lot of people think that just because, you tough guys is they able to carry guns and shoot up in the air and bust shots and wear, their clothes in a certain way. These is, the gangsters supposed to be tough guys. Not all of these gangsters and street guys are tough guys. At least that's what their women say. They have that persona in the streets, but they warm and cuddly and fuzzy and soft when they laying down with their wife. I'm sorry, guys. What do not make you a tough guy if you tough in the streets, and then when you're in bed with your woman, she's using a strap-on on you. Ooh, man, I just went right there. And just in case y'all guys don't understand me, I'm not going to get graphic, but when a man and a woman is having intercourse and he prefers something in his buttocks, that don't constitute you being a tough guy. I went right there. I started it off like that. Sorry guys, but when I talk, this is not scripted. It's just from the heart, from the mind, and I regurgitate it right to you. What makes you have being a so-called tough guy? These guys could be, they willing to talk all of that nonsense in the public, all of that rough and tough talk, but they crying on their woman's shoulder. Now, everybody feels emotions, okay? But you shouldn't be crying and laying down on your mother, or I would say on your mother's, but I'll get to your mother in a minute, but on your woman's shoulder because you didn't have money to pay the rent that particular month. That don't make you a tough guy. And previously I had a joke about young kid, but I could also apply that to adult. You crying, you're a tough guy in the streets, but when you get an autograph from your famous entertainer, you crying because you met your famous entertainer. I'm so glad to meet you. I can't believe it. It's you. It's you. I can't believe it. Shaq? It's you. Can I touch you? Can I touch you? I can't believe I seen you. I never seen entertainment before. It's you. I'm so happy. I'm so full of emotions. I love you. I need you. Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. Seriously? Seriously? But then you in the streets talking to the streets. Yo, you know, it's real right here. Yo, you know, no. Yo, anybody mess with me, you know, it's on sight. It's on sight. I bust my guns on anybody. You see how I flipped it? That tough talk. And you got a lot of emotional so-called tough guys. And I understand why the women/females to a certain degree don't have respect because there's not enough tough-minded men out here. I get it, ladies. I get it. On that one aspect. Because it's a big problem. But it goes in full circle because a lot of these men, let's say, raised by single moms. Oh yeah, I gotta go there. And just single mothers, and that's not only that. I'm gonna break down a lot of different perspectives, but in the cities where it's just single moms ruling the land, single moms have to have the alpha male mentality. A lot of these they pacify these men. And these boys become men. And these boys is very emotional. They emotional just like women. You look at, with no logic. No logic. You look at them, or if you step on their sneakers, these so-called tough guys is ready to pull out their weapons and delete you. Ready to fight. Ready to curse. No logic. running around in the neighborhoods in different cities and towns, just emotional, crying, screaming, just doing dumb stuff, putting their whole business on social media, want to be seen and be flamboyant. These are your so-called tough guys in the neighborhood, because again, there's now in a lot of these neighborhoods it's single mothers that rule, and they don't have a clue what's going on. They just full of emotions. And it just becomes a cycle. And then there's no male guidance in the neighborhood. Father is not there. There's no real uncles or males in these cities. Especially you have that problem within the black community as well. We know this, so we don't even have to get into the details. So this is one of the reasons why, and that's one of the reasons why. Another reason why for these so-called tough guys, because with their emotions, the way society is dumbing down how men should conduct themselves, you have a lot of fake men out here. You have a lot of men that running around here talking tough, and you thinking they supposed to be real manly heterosexual type of men, but then at night they deal with trans gentlemen, and you know what goes down with that. How can you be a so-called tough guy mentally? We're not talking about physically, guys, that you could beat up, because even trans gentlemen can beat up heterosexual men. I mean, because they still have that strength of a man. So that's a little footnote. But we're talking about mentally. This is my personal opinion. How can you talk about you being a man of strength, a tough guy, but yet and still you let a trans gentleman backdoor you? Now, I can get in detail with that, but I'm just going to say that as surface value right there. That don't, for a tough guy, that don't constitute strength, mental strength, dealing with a trans gentleman. But society, society is dumbing us down, and I mentioned that in one of my shows, being a heterosexual man. You have a lot of fake so-called tough guys out here. And it is what it is. And it's a growing number. A lot of fake tough guys out here. These so-called tough guys is heavy. Some of them, the drugs and the alcohol can hype you up to make you a tough guy. But when you back to normal, you become that weak man that you really are. So a lot of these men have to always stay heavily medicated so they can have this fake persona of being a tough guy. And again, like I mentioned earlier, being a so-called tough guy doesn't mean you punching people out or you the loudest one in the group. Being a tough guy is going through trials and tribulations and enduring it and rising above that and even making people around you better. And no matter what physical ailments you're going through day by day, you can still truck along and you tough it out. No matter what financial hardship you're going through, you're able to tough it out. And nobody knows. And you still can hold your head up high and you still able to walk up and down the street, even though you know you're going through a lot of mental pain and anguish. But you're able to hold it in and hold yourself together. That's being a tough guy. And in this society, like I mentioned, because men is being dumbed down in their community, in the laws of the state or country or province, men is being dumbed down to the degree of being less than who they are, a man. So you have a lot of fake men out here. And I mentioned this before, in my personal opinion, the narrative is pushing homosexuality and the trans world to dumb down men so they won't be able to have that masculine energy or have a chance of becoming or having a tough guy mentality, being a Sigma male. Not only an alpha male, a Sigma male. Sigma male being able to stand alone as an alpha male. Because men, this is the reality. And this is what's going to make you mentally strong. Especially my young men. Definitely my young black men. Mentally, you have to know, part of being tough-minded, being a tough guy, is knowing the reality that you're going to have to die alone. Or that's the possibility. What do I mean? You see, women and children always going to have a supporting staff, a supporting group, a support within the community, a support within government, a support within local government or federal or province or whatever. They're always going to get a helping hand quicker than a man. So if a woman is single, she have a supporting staff that prop her up, give her money with no questions asked, or not as much as a man. So she will have support. And the children always will have some type of support. But you, as a man, if you go down, let's say, and you get sick, there's people that is relying on you. If you get seriously sick in a month, and you can't work, I should say, a month, who is going to help you? Who can? Now, maybe if some of you is fortunate to have wives or wife, and I'm speaking especially in North America, because most men is not married nowadays, especially the younger men. So if you get sick, who is there to really help you for a month? Most of the men will say and agree there's no one. They can't rely on their mother or sister or whatever. Matter of fact, their mama and sisters need them. Or their exes need them. Especially if they have children by them. You have to feed the baby mama or the ex-wife. You got to send money to them if you go down, for the most part. Or if something goes wrong, they're going to look for you as a mental cushion to rely on. That's the normal circumstances. But now in society where government and society and in general is dumbing down the man, they causing separation. Women feel they don't need a man, and you know the story. So I don't want to go off the topic too much, but all of these things constitute being a tough man, a tough guy, mentally strong to endure what you going through in life. All of this ties in together, if you get what I'm saying. I'm hoping you are. But most men out here, I would say, are weak-minded. They're not tough guys. It's just a facade. The way you dress do not make you a tough guy. The way you speak doesn't make, with adding vernaculars and just speaking in a basic urban language doesn't make you a tough guy. Being a tough guy, like I mentioned, is a state of mind. And certainly, certain freaking being a tough guy, if you calling on your mommy, mama, when something goes wrong, mama, and she's not around especially, and you're a grown man, even if she was around, what can she do? If you're a grown man, chances are your mama is a middle-aged woman or elderly woman. What can she do? Scream? Help! Help! My baby is down and he can't get up. Help! I mentioned that. I'm not going to get into the show last time, the previous, I should say, 2 shows ago, but I'm speaking in general. No disrespect to any particular man, but being a tough guy, you can't call on your mommy. Your mama won't save you. She can't do nothing. What if you in a battle, a physical battle in the streets? Mama! Sorry. Mama only can just say, take your hands off my baby. Leave my baby alone. And she's screaming and crying. And now you screaming and crying. So who's the tough guy? You're in battle, my friend. Men, stop being... Now that's a mama's boy. A lot of women like throwing out here, you're a mama's boy, you're a mama's boy. Yeah, I'm my mama and I'm the boy. My mama's boy, but little humor. But no, you love your mother, you cherish her. You don't make her a deity now. But you cherish her, you respect her. To a certain point, I guess, right? But you can't. Your mama can't do anything. If anything, you should be calling for your daddy. But we know your daddy is not around. A lot of you. So that's not being a tough guy. By no stretch of the imagination. And the problem is adult men put their mamas on a high pedestal like they deities, like they angels, like they the Lord himself. And these women are just women. They special in your life because they birth you. but they're your mamas. You respect them, you love them, no problem. Especially if they treated you right, no problem. I have no problem. I love and respect for my mom as well. And I cherish her and stuff like that, but I don't make her a deity. Like, she doesn't do anything wrong, and she can, she just the greatest since sliced bread. As a man, you stand on your square, you put things in perspective. She needs you. If you're an adult, a man, let's say 30, 35 plus or 30 plus, like I said, chances are your mother is, if she's not, on the average 60 to 70 years old, she's basically a senior. What can she do to help you? As I mentioned, and I'm repeating it because a lot of you men, you're so sensitive and you have a warped mentality. You could talk all of that tough talk stuff to your fellow man and threaten to delete him and all of this tough talk, but around your mama, you soft and cuddly. And I'm not saying you run around cursing out your mother, no, but I'm just saying you carrying the spirit. Your same spirit's supposed to be all around. Because sometimes you gotta check your mama. Respectfully. If your mother's out of pocket, you gotta check her. She's not above being checked. I have to check my mom. Respectfully. Difference of opinion. In a respectful way. But a lot of guys just feel that their mother's so high above, they can't say, Mom, you wrong. Mental toughness. Men have lost that. There's a few men that still have that. But most men, is a crazy world now because you have majority of men in society are weak-minded. I would say 98% of men are weak and 2% are still strong out here. But it's dominated like that. Now, we're in the yesteryears, 50, 60, 70 years, it was the other way around. But we've been dumbed down because it's been systematically dumbed down for men to be weak and having a facade of being tough. Facade, excuse me. I said petard? What's wrong with you? Greatness? Facade. Again, like I said, I have so much stuff is in my head. Sometimes as I'm speaking, it don't come out right, but forgive me. But anyway, facade. It's just this is the rules of the game. The so-called tough guy. And a lot of men, modern day men, haven't gone through the trials and tribulations of the previous men, because I give you an example. If you say 50, 60 years ago, the world wasn't, wasn't more technical, so it's more physical labor. Physical labor brings a lot of character, a lot of mental strength. I'm not saying you should go out there and do it, especially if you don't have to. But most men out here don't have to work like that. Again, with technology, now with vehicles and then you can work at home, Zoom. That don't cost physical labor. Physical labor can bring the toughness out of from your soul, because you have to work hard and sweat it out, and you sore and you're tired and stuff, and you gotta go back to work because you gotta make ends meet, and you gotta work that physical labor type of job. you have to be mentally tough or you can't work at that job. 50, 60, 100 years ago, there's more, it was physical jobs out there, less of the white collar. So, or I should say light type jobs. So yeah, men had to be tough minded. So it was a different mindset and that helped build character. Work actually, when you know you have to work, that builds character. What do I mean? Because that's a regimen that you have to do every day. You have to be there on time. There's a certain time you have to come home when you get home, and there's certain things you got to prepare for the next day, and there's a regimen every day, and you want to do that because you want to be able to make money and then pay your bills. That's a regimen. You have to be tough-minded. That builds character, believe it or not. And a lot of men really, the modern day men of this day, they don't want to really work hard. And if you don't have to, fine. But again, it's a fine line to that. It can make you weaker, especially if you know you don't have a lot to lose. So this society is more technical savvy, but they more weaker. And that's really what I'm trying to say. Therefore, you have so-called tough guys that they not tough. They mentally weak. I hope I'm making sense a little bit. But I could give many other examples of the so-called tough guy. You know, as I mentioned, the bullet points, the drugs and the alcohol, and being in the single mom household. The community is surrounded by women. Your family is all women. There's no men in the household or around your circumference. Even the dresses, even the clothing. You can't be a tough guy, in my personal opinion, running around wearing dresses. Now, yeah, you got like tough guys that will beat you down, have the physical strength to beat you down in a dress. I'm not doubting that. But we're not talking about physical here. What makes you a tough guy is mental. And you can't be, in my personal opinion, you can be if you stop wearing dresses, develop your mental, but society dumbs men down and saying wearing dresses is okay. Wearing a purse is okay. Wearing tights is okay. How can you pursue greatness, true mental strength, when society is telling you wearing a dress and you stand on your square and say no, and you risk it all? You risk your money, you risk a lot of things because you refuse to wear a dress. You refuse to be dumbed down, to be less than a man. And I mentioned that previously. That takes a lot of guts, a lot of mental strength to know that you can risk a lot of things, but you stand on your square. Another example of being a tough guy. But it's a dying art being a tough guy, so that's why I mentioned so-called tough guys. And it is what it is. I could give a lot of different examples, but I just wanted to give you a few bullet points of being a so-called tough guy. And there's a lack of real men, real tough guys out here. That's why I talk about past men, give examples, bringing up to this current day, I should say. Now, conclusion, to become that warrior, that sigma male / alpha male, having that spirit, number one, that comes, if you're a young man, say 18 years old, that comes with time. That comes with experience. You have to go through trials and tribulations. Hopefully the trials and tribulations won't cause you death. It won't cause you your livelihood. But being a tough guy, you have to go through things. You have to separate sometimes from your mate, from your children, as painful as it could be, from your job that paying you a lot of money, but you got to let it go. And you know the risk is great. The risk, you could be broke, but you find a way. You hustle mean not selling in the street. You hustle where you actively looking to find another job, or you actively try to build a business so you can replace that income. That's the spirit of a tough guy. Surrounded in an environment where people is selling drugs and using drugs and all the other degenerate stuff, but you shy away from that, and people call you different names from not indulging in that, but you able to stand on your square regardless. And that means separating yourself from family, friends, or foe, no matter how long you knew them, or being that they related to you, as painful it is separating yourself from blood relatives. These is the steps, the trials and tribulations of being a tough guy. It's not about how many weapons you have in your pocket or in your house. It's not how fast you could pull the trigger to shoot somebody. It's not how loud you can be, the loudest one in the room. There's a saying, an empty wagon make a lot of noise. An empty wagon makes a lot of noise. The loudest person in the room is not necessarily the toughest individual. The tough guys, a lot of times they move in silence. And they don't run around saying, I'm a tough guy, but they are tough. I met up with a lot of tough men, and you would never expect it. They suit and tie men or just average men in the street. They don't say nothing, but they will hurt you in many different ways. They will physically hurt you, they will mentally hurt you, and they don't give an ish about it. But if you look at them, they look very nice and pleasant, but they cut you stone cold. And I met up with a lot of those type of men. I was fortunate to meet up with a lot of those type of men, and they gave me good game, the game of life. That's part of being a warrior. So that's all I have to say. And again, stand strong. Stand on your square, guys. Thank you for listening.